Good afternoon. So today was a really quick Monday. Um, I just felt, I'm about to get ready to go to the gym and I wanted to do a video, and Kelly and I are supposed to do a podcast tonight. And I kind of wanted to stress, and we talked about this on our podcast yesterday, the importance of, setting a standard, or setting, framing out your intentions in a relationship, and your boundaries and your standards really early. um and I know a lot of people in the dating world are just kind of looking for, whether it be a hookup, or they come to a place where they just don't care, they just want to be in a relationship. And this is another topic, is, you know making your relationship known publicly. I mean, is it necessary? I know we live in a culture of, social media, and, oh, I'm in a relationship, let me post it on Facebook, and let people know and get reactions from people. And, and I've been guilty of feeling that way too. But to me, that's not the main important thing. If you're really looking for a solid, relationship, it's not really, it's it I mean, quite frankly, unless you both agree that it's everybody's business, then it shouldn't be a big deal. you know for me, there's times where I was, you know in a I was dating or whatnot, and there was a point where, I did make it like I was in a relationship status, and that was mainly to set boundaries. It didn't really matter if people knew who it was. That was just kind of like sending a signal to others that, I'm not interested in somebody else, because I was with somebody at the time. And um, it kind of like, sets a boundary. And that for me was the most important thing, not necessarily who it was or anything like that. Um, just, if I had guys or people sought me out or something, it's just kind of let them know that I, you know, don't try to talk to me in instant messenger or things like that, because it just takes my energy, and I don't want to just ignore people. But I've come to a place where, you know, um, I'm very selective about my energy. But getting back on the subject of, framing out what you're looking for in a relationship, and the importance of doing that up front, is so that you're not wasting time of other people. Of course, there are those instances where you really feel a connection with somebody. Um, it's not so much, oh, let's, date because we get along, but you feel like a really strong connection with somebody. That's different. But if you're dating and you're, and there's certain standards that you have, it's important to kind of bring those forward early on. Um, and the same with the one you're dating. They might have certain preferences and standards too, and you can talk about those things. It's kind of setting, just kind of showing what you're looking for, in all aspects of that. Um, and I'll just use myself as an example. Um, like we were talking, the writing a list, is, so kind of, so, you're reminded of what you're looking for, and you kind of have it out there. Like for me, it's just the lifestyle, habits, and, height, that's important. Um, and it's not too many things. It's, some people want somebody who is, makes more money than them, or, um, they might want somebody who has a certain kind of hairstyle, or, or eyes or whatever, it's important. And it sounds simple, but in this day and age, it's almost like, well, these things that I'm about to say it should be a given, but it really isn't. It's hard out there in the world. It's really hard to, get to a place where you're stable and you're able to pay your own way. And I get it. I was there for years with my kid, with raising kids and being a single mom. But yeah, so simple things like, they have to have a vehicle, and I was guilty of dating somebody who didn't have a vehicle. So I was the one that was doing all the work as far as going out and, going to get him and go out on a date or something. But yeah, that's, having a vehicle is important, especially at my age. If you're a man and, I mean, um, just being stable, having your own things, having income, uh, being a good communicator, that's important for me. Somebody who was pretty much ignored for years by her husband, that to me, that's super important, is somebody who likes to talk, because I love to listen. And now it's not something that if they're not the perfect communicator, that I'm not going to date them, but it's just something I'd like to see. So you kind of like setting the frame out as far as who you're looking for, and you'll take note of those things. Like, the guy I'm dating now, he's a really good communicator. He's texting me all the time, and I like that, and it's not overbearing. Um, so it's important to have these standards and have these interests. Look at, what are you interested in? I would prefer someone who likes to go hiking or likes to be out in nature and walk and get outdoors, and because I love to do all that, but I don't like to do it so much by myself. I love the idea of going hiking or camping, but I'm not going to be out doing that by myself. Um, Somebody that likes to go work out, go to the gym, that's important to me because it's part of my lifestyle now. And I want to be with somebody who is active and is working on their health. Um, uh, just somebody who can engage me in good intellectual conversation, talk about psychology or science, um, physics. I love stuff like that, weird stuff that's, deep, and um, spiritual things. That's something that's important to me too, is, you know, how engaging is your conversation? Someone's going to send me off the wall text just out of the blue that's makes me laugh, that's attractive to me. I love that. Um, Somebody who's overall, a deep feeler like I am, someone who's deep in their emotions and their, their, um, in their communication. Somebody I can relate to, that may have had experiences like me, or, who has interests in the things that I have interest in. Um, Someone who loves music. Listening to music is life for me. I love just to sit and just relax and listen to music. Like, that's my big thing. Um, so those are just, some things that you can, talk about when you're first dating somebody. You know, I'm not much into video games, and what if he sits there and plays video games all the time? That might not work for me. Or someone who's, I'm very much a homebody, but I'm not like that all the time. I like to go out and be in nature. Maybe it's somebody doesn't really like to go walking in nature, but they like the city life. They like to go out, be around a lot of people. You know, there's balance in that. But if someone likes to do that all the time, I don't know. We'll have to see. Like, I don't, I'm just, and those are things, like I said, we can, talk about up front, what are things that they like to do and you like to do, and compare them and see what will work. And, these things are important because, if it's things that you absolutely won't do, but they will, or, things that you don't agree with, like, I'm very open-minded when it comes to spirituality now. I used to not be that way. I used to be very religious. I like to call myself an omnist because I really, there's different belief systems, then there's some truth to them, to all of them, to an extent. I have my core beliefs. I believe in Jesus, but maybe he doesn't, and that might be a conflict for him. And so talking about that up front is important. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of, talk about that a little bit because it's kind of what we're going to be talking about tonight on the podcast. So anyway, see you later.